Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the final day of the Airthings Masters 2023. This is your host Sagar Shah welcoming you to the match between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura, two of the finest blitz players, speed chess players in the world. And today is going to be a fantastic matchup between these two players. They are so good and they are fighting against each other for the top place of who is going to win the title. So let's get it rolling. The match is about to begin and it will be amazing to follow it. So how are you doing, guys? Let me know if you can hear me well and if everything is fine. Who do you think is going to win today? It's going to be a very close match. I know that for sure. Uh, and who are you supporting? Because I'm sure that there are a lot of Hikaru Nakamura fans as well and a lot of Magnus Carlsen fans as well here. So, whom are you supporting? Let me know in the comment section. Can you hear me well? Aha. Okay, 1 second, guys. Just fixing a few things here. Making sure that it's working well. I think there's a small, as you can see on your screen, the players are ready. They have made a few moves. I'm just setting things up. Okay, there we go. The game is here. The game has begun with c4 and Magnus Carlsen opens the game with one c4. This is known as the... Guys, what's the name of this opening? When you open a game with c4, what is it called? Anyone? Yes, Priyansh Patel. It's known as the English opening. Knight f6, knight to f3, e6. He goes knight c3, d5 and d4. And now we have transposed into Queen's Gambit decline territory. He takes the pawn. This is known as the Vienna. And now there are two ways to respond to it. You can go e3 or you can go e4. Magnus goes e4. Hikaru defends the pawn with b5. Now this is a modern way to play because earlier everyone used to play bishop b4 and this was like you are attacking this pawn so you cannot take it easily, although taking the pawn is also one of the main lines. But b5 is an interesting move because what you're saying is that if you take this pawn, then I'm going to take the pawn on e4. That's what you want to do. Okay, so Magnus says I'm going to push e5. Hikaru says thank you so much because my knight gets this square. But Magnus says I've taken your pawn and I'm threatening to take another pawn. So how does Hikaru defend this pawn on c4? Anyone? Yes, king pawn. The winner of Caruana versus Yu Yangi will join in the division 1 for the next. That is true. Magnus is looking a little weird because of his combed hair, says Priyansh. Yeah. Ammai Kanetkar says on this day in 2022 I got my national arbiter certificate. Oh, congratulations. So right now the move is Not bishop a6, guys. If you play bishop a6, I'm simply going to chop this pawn. That's not going to work. But the move is knight to b6. That's how it goes. Knight b6 is to be played here. And he goes, now this is defended. So he goes a3, maybe just stopping bishop b4 check ideas. Knight to c6, bishop e3, queen d7, moving his queen up, knight to c3, bishop b7, queen c2, knight a5. Now the knight is looking at not just defending this but also this weakness on b3, and Magnus says, I don't care, I'm putting my rook in the center here, and Hikaru goes rook to b8. And Hikaru is actually eyeing down this file here. He's looking at b3 and all of that stuff, but Magnus simply develops. And he's telling Hikaru that all things equal, my structure is better than yours. That's the main advantage I have, and I have all my pieces out here, so I am doing slightly better. Okay, what is black going to do now? That is the question. What is black going to play? Maybe Hikaru does bishop e7. That's an idea. You can't play c5 because then I take and I open up the queen. So for Hikaru, it's not so easy to come up with the move. I believe he's going to play bishop e7. What do you think? What will he play? By the way, just having a look at the screen, and also I watch just a second, just yeah, now I have this one. I think I'm all set, but I had made certain changes which I have to uh, get back to, because I had changed a few things here because I hadn't signed in. That was the issue. I was wondering why everything, all the settings changed, and then I realized I hadn't signed in, and now I'm signed in, and okay, everything works well again. So that's good. Good. Okay. All good. All good. That's good. And I'm going to... Oh, nice. Okay, what did Hikaru do? He went bishop c6. Aha. Interesting. What is the bishop doing on c6? Guys, Dharmik says Hikaru is the best defender in the world. Do you agree? At least in rapid format and at least in online chess, because he plays so much online chess and he's like practicing every day. Yes, exactly. Vigatha Karna, he wants to go knight a4, and then if you take, he wants to take with the bishop and sort of skewer this. Oops. Okay. So Magnus Carlsen says, I'm going to now... Oh, he played h4. By the way, I missed that move. Bishop c6. And now knight a4 is a definite idea. Because with knight a4, you're attacking b2. And if you take here, he wants to take bishop takes a4. So what would you play here as Magnus? This is a very interesting move by Hikaru Nakamura. Actually, Magnus could have also castled here. But you know, I think after looking at Gukesh and after looking at all these modern players, I have started to feel that castling is a thing of yesteryears. It's an old concept now. Everyone wants to play no castling chess. Everyone wants to get their king in the center and push their rook pawns down the board. That's how chess is going to be played. Oh, h5 doesn't care. Magnus is like, let's go. Okay, one question to all of you. What do you do with knight a4 now? Because now this is hanging. Any ideas? Will Hikaru Nakamura play knight a4? Because see, b2 is hanging. You don't want to play rook b1. Oh, that's like a sad move. And if you take here, then bishop a4, and then it sort of skewers. So you have to, this is the tough part about chess. That when such a position is reached, you have to think something counter-attacking. And how do you find that move? Find a counter-attacking move for white here. What do you play? Guys, let's go. What do you play here for white? Yes, absolutely right. D5 is the move. Guys, well done. Sumati, Pankaj, Hitesh, Priyansh, Rishikesh, Vaibhav, Nishchal, Prakhar, Hanmant, Akashdeep. Fantastic job, guys. D5 is the move. Now, look, you can't take this pawn. If you take this pawn, I'm going to take here and I attack your queen with a check. So that does not work. So what do? You take this. E takes D5. But then comes this very deadly move. This is the tough move. Actually, why did you sacrifice the pawn? You're not going to take here because that just loses a piece. What is the reason you played this? Guys, can you tell me? I don't even think Magnus found it, but just so that, Hikaru didn't play it. But this is an unbelievable variation. Not knight d4. Knight d4 means just here b2 is hanging. The move here is a very, very tricky move. H6. H6. And you would think, oh my god, what? If he takes here, look at this. If he takes here, you don't touch the queen or anything. You take here and now you're threatening to queen there. So he has to go here and then you chop this with your queen. Your queen gets in. Okay, get it. But why will he play rook takes b2 and allow you h takes g7, right? So he will play g6. But then you can actually sacrifice another pawn with e6. And this is crazy stuff because now look, if you take with the queen, I can win a piece here, right? Because the queen is defending. Okay, so you take with the pawn. Now I take here, bishop takes, and do you spot the winning move here? The very strong move. Guys, let's go. Let's go. What is the move? Very nice move. Can you find it? It's an epic move. Yes, brilliant. This time the chat is right on the ball. Queen c3 is the move, hitting the rook. Unbelievable. Priyansh, Vaibhav, Kritika, Nishchal, Prakhar, Swastik, Rudraksh, Darsh, Kunal, CD. And now what happens? Let's say if your rook moves here, then I just chop the knight. And that's how it's over. It's such a beautiful line, guys. And it shows in chess. LPDO. Concept of LPDO. How many of you in the chat can tell me what is LPDO? What is the meaning of it? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, Sakarches Ambarnath has written LPDO. Brilliant. Brilliant. Loose pieces drop off. Exactly. But, for that you have to ask a question. What is loose? The rook is loose and the knight is loose. But you, in your mind, you're like, oh, in such a position, how do you even wonder about this knight and this rook? But then you start to figure out, oh, I can actually play g6, open up. Oh, this diagonal needs to be opened up. Let me play this. Then let me play this. Then let me play this. And then let me do this. And then let me do... It's not easy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Isn't that amazing? Okay, anyway, those were beautiful lines. But we are going to come back to reality because Hikaru played bishop a4. Hikaru said, I don't want to go knight a4 business. Let me take with the knight. Now, Magnus takes here. Hikaru says, exchange the queens. Do you want to exchange the queens? Because if you exchange the queens, then my knight jumps in here and then b2 is hanging. That's not good. Okay, so he plays rook c1, and this is beautiful Magnus stuff, because now after takes, his rook defends here, this pawn is weak, and suddenly from a middle game he's ready to transition into an endgame, and Magnus, as we know, is the king of endgames. Okay, so he goes knight b3 here, and Hikaru says, I'm attacking your rook. Magnus goes rook to b1, and now Hikaru Nakamura is thinking for his move. As of now, what needs to be done? What should he play is the question. Time wise, oh, he goes check. What is the point of this check? Sarvagya Dubey says LPDO probably coined by English player Mike Cook, who used it to explain the majority of his losses in a 100-game blitz match against John Nunn. Oh, you know, I read it. I think I read it either in John Nunn book or I read it in there was this book by Paul Motwani, I think. Star Chess or something like this. I don't remember where I read it. Okay, check. Magnus instantly plays king f1 and Hikaru strikes in the center with c5. And now Magnus Carlsen says, I need to push my pawn in. Okay, Hikaru says, I'm going g6. And now Magnus chops the pawn. Good move, good move. Hikaru is thinking, should I take with the knight? Should I take with the bishop? With what should I recapture? Let's think about it. Should we take with the knight or the bishop? Let's first think about taking it with the bishop. If you take with the bishop, the problem is I'm going to take this. And then you realize, okay, this is hanging. So let's say, for example, if you take here, I'll take queen b3, white is better. Okay, so what if you take on c4? Okay, I take back. Then you take on e3. But then comes this very cheeky little check to move your king away. Because if you go king f8, that is horrible because I give a check and I chop your rook off. Look at this pawn on h6, stopping the king from coming there. Okay, so queen c6, you have to go king d8. And then after fe3, Magnus is like, I'm better. You know, this position is very good for me. Count the number of pawns. I have an extra pawn. Everything's working out for me. Okay, so you can't take bishop takes c5. Then you decide to take with the knight because Hikaru Nakamura has to take. So he takes with the knight, and now Magnus Carlsen once again takes this pawn. Bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, queen takes c4, and let's assess the position. Who's better, who's not? Count the pawns. 6 pawns for white, 5 pawns for black. Where's the compensation? Okay, black says I can castle. Now your king is in the center, my king is safe. Is it enough compensation? Maybe. And notice that a move like b4 does not work because of queen a3, and you can't take here because the rook is hanging. So have to be careful of all these tricks. Let's see what Hikaru Nakamura does after dc5. He's still thinking. He hasn't made his move. Magnus Carlsen is eating something. He's just very chilled out. And remember today, guys, if Magnus Carlsen wins the first match in the first 4 games, it's over. But if Hikaru Nakamura wins in the first 4 games or with the Armageddon, then we have another match because Magnus has never lost in this tournament. So he will then, we'll go into another matchup. Oh, he takes with the bishop. Come on, let's take it. Oh, Magnus takes bishop takes c5. Yes, I think humanly you don't like that after knight c4, bishop e3. Like even if check, you don't want to spoil your structure like this. So I can completely get it why Magnus wanted to take here. He took here, and now guys, Magnus's next move. Unbelievable, beautiful move. Can you find it? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Who can find Magnus's next move? Brilliant chess by Magnus Carlsen. What did he play? Guys, we are going to the live board. It's just one move behind. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ramesh Mitawa, Arjun defeated Magnus in 1 game, but not in the match. Magnus has not lost a match here, while Hikaru has lost a match to Magnus. Yes, the move here is Rook H4. b4. Brilliant chess. Let me see how many. Oh my god, so many of you have found it. The reason why this move is special, by the way, Geeta, Mista, Dharmik, Lahiru, Saurabh, Rudraksh, Kritika, Sai Rishi, Ojas, Daksh, well done. The reason why this move is very good is because rooks generally are activated on files. This time you are activating the rook on a rank. It's not common. Okay, rook h4, and now Hikaru is once again thinking that Magnus is going to take this here and he's then going to take with the rook. What should I do? I have got a beautiful knight perched here, but it's not doing its work. And also, guys, here's a very quick question for all the people, all the amazing tactical geniuses in the chat. What does white play here? How does white win after knight a5? Because I protected my c4 pawn. How does white win now? Yes, 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 yes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Amazing job. This is the correct move. b4 is the move. And now you're attacking here and here. And if cb3, queen is hanging. So you can't play it. So brilliant work here by Satyansh, Mista, Vaibhav, Prakhar, Lahiru, Sahil, Kirtika, Geeta, Kathiresan, Ankit. Excellent job. And now moving on, rook h4. Hikaru is still thinking. He's not made his move. He has 3 minutes 36 seconds. Ramesh says, as Agat Matra says, b4 always wins. Yeah, that's true. But I guess he can play rook c8. But after rook c8, there's a tactical refutation. I can take on c4, knight takes c4, and queen takes b3. So Hikaru is uncomfortable here. He's not able to figure out in what way should he defend this pawn. He can't go back. He castles and he's like, okay, Magnus, take your pawn. Take your pawn. You can have it. But guys, it's a healthy pawn. It's a full healthy pawn. Magnus takes it. Hikaru goes here. Brilliant. Oh, I had one question. If you go knight a5, still b4 is very strong. You can't do much. Okay, he goes rook c8. But now, don't you think I can just take bishop b3? Bishop b3, queen c2, right? Oh, you can go queen b5. Let's see what Hikaru does. He took bishop b3. Oh, he played queen b5 because he saw that if you take here, and take here, the problem is, yes, your rook is on the 7th heaven, but my rook jumps here and then protects everything. And so white is better. So that's why he didn't go for it. He went check and notice that the queen is hanging. So you need to move the queen. He moved queen e2 and now Hikaru takes queen takes b3. And Hikaru is a pure pawn down. He's one full pawn down and Magnus is ahead on time. He has 7 minutes 29 seconds. The glass from which Magnus is drinking water is huge. Can we go rook b4? That could be a good move here. Rook b4, just kick the queen out from here. What else can we do? Can we go knight d4? Maybe. He goes rook b4. Magnus Carlsen, amazing player. You know, he finds all the best moves. That's why he's one of the best. That's why everyone's like, oh, Magnus, why are you not playing the world championship? We want you to play the world championship. Rook d1 played by Magnus. Now, the question is, guys, I still feel a little bit of tension for white. I'll tell you why. My main worry is that after knight d5, let's say you take, there is pressure here. But remember, what is white's biggest trump? Can anyone tell me what is that biggest trump that white has in this position? Rudrak Shukla, Ojas Ghone. Exactly, guys. h6, this pawn, this little chotu pawn on the side is the one which will create the magic, because every time the knight moves or the rook comes down, there are back rank issues. Oops, rook doesn't move that way. Rook can come in there. And that is the main issue. And that's what is actually making Magnus really better in this position. And guys, remember, when Magnus moved his h pawn down the board on move 14, a lot of people laughed. When people choose unconventional lines in life, unconventional vocations, people laugh at them. They're like, ha ha ha, H4, you want to become a chess player? What are you doing? You should become an engineer. You should become a doctor. They're like, okay, I'm playing now H4. I know it doesn't make sense, but it will make sense eventually. Right now, this is the value of chess player in 2030 maybe. Okay, anyway, pawn is on H6. Now, what does Hikaru do? Look at Hikaru's time. He's shaking his head. He's unhappy. He's like, what should I do next? Where do I go? What do I do? I think knight d5 is just the only move. But the amount of time Hikaru is shaking his head, I have a feeling that is he going to, no, come on, he's not going to resign as yet. He will play a5. You know, one of the things which I have seen about Hikaru is that sometimes even when he's winning, he's shaking his head. It's very difficult to understand his expressions. Very tough, very tough. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Hikaru is shaking his head from a distance when I see him, like in a tournament. He must be losing and he's like a piece up or something, or a pawn up. Gautam says Magnus is blinking a lot. Look at Hikaru's time, 51 seconds. What did he play? A5. Magnus moved his rook up. A4. Okay. Basically, Hikaru is trying to fix these pawns. But does that help him? You know, if Magnus plays the move G3, oof, what a move that is. Just bringing the king here. You know, amidst the storm, like many things happening, we human beings have always we always want to go towards action. We want to go rook d6, attack here. We want to do things. But G3 is such a cool move because you are just making space for your king. And I believe Magnus is going to do that. And if Magnus plays G3, it will be amazing because then, look, if you go rook d6, suddenly this check comes. And, you know, you're not happy with these checks, or queen b1 check. So, you want to just get rid of your king from the last rank. Let me see. Hari Krishna says, how about knight g5? Hari Krishna, that's not a bad idea. Knight g5 is actually pretty good because then you also want to put your knight here and go to f6 or d6. Like it, like it. Queen, what else? Ramesh Mitawa says, I was thinking g3, king g2. Oh, nice, nice. Lazy Iceberg says, you want to be commentator, just be CA. Okay. Thank you, Lazy Iceberg. I will just be CA. A4. Dharmik Thanki says, can we go queen e4? Not bad, Dharmik. That's also a good move. I guess what you want to do, Dharmik, is go here and here, right? That might be your plan. Oh, or let's say if you go here, my only worry is that after queen trade, do you think your b2 pawn is weak? But maybe not. Maybe not. And it's not so trivial, this position, although the engines feel it's totally winning. Like rook c1, knight b2, king e2, the knight is sort of trapped here. It can get very nasty. He played a4, queen e4. Oh, Magnus played your move, Dharmik. Queen e4 played. Queen e4 on the board. And now, if given an opportunity, Magnus would like to go here and just mate. But I think Magnus has seen this. Yes, Hikaru takes. And now, look. Magnus will take for sure. Right? I mean, what else? You must take on b8. Rook takes b8, rook takes b8. Will Magnus take? Yeah. And now, if Magnus, Magnus understands such positions. I shouldn't say if Magnus will understand. You know, that's not a question. He understands these things like this. But How should he play? Should he go rook c1? Should he play g3, king g2 in such positions? I don't know. I don't like it. Why should we go with our king there? I'm interested to see what Magnus chooses. Does he go rook d4? Because look, rook d4, knight b2, and now still king e2. Because I've trapped your knight. That's the main concept here, guys. Trapping the knight. Oh, he goes rook d4. He plays rook d4. Rook c8 played by Hikaru. Hikaru says, I don't want to touch this pawn. If I touch this pawn, my knight is going to get trapped. I know that. Okay, now what do you do? Look at Hikaru looking at the ceiling. He's one of the best defenders in the world. If he can defend this, then it will be insane. Magnus goes and takes the 7th heaven. But now Hikaru can take on b2. Magnus would want to go to g5 to attack the pawn on f7. That's his idea. And again, guys, MVP. Pawn on h6. Knight takes b2. Can we go knight g5? Chess time says, how do you overcome laziness and procrastination? Don't know. Chess time. If you find out, please tell me. I also suffer from it. Rook f8 played. Do you go knight e4, knight f6? Or do you play rook a7? Just attack here. Or can you go rook b7, rook b4? Too many options. You know, I want my rook here and I want my king here so that I can cover both these squares. Hikaru Nakamura. Oh, what a move. Rook d4. I was talking about these two squares. And now rook comes back. You know, Hikaru wants to come here. Actually, did Hikaru have a better move or what? I'm not sure. King e2, he wants to escape here. From c4, then attack here. Is Magnus struggling? You know, Magnus is struggling a lot against Hikaru to convert winning positions. Because Hikaru is such a staunch defender. Earlier, they used to call Sergei Karyakin the Minister of Defense, but I guess now it's Hikaru Nakamura. Can we go knight e4 and knight f6 and knight d6? You know, these positions like this. Knight c4, I may want to go knight d6. What do you think? If knight d6, ed6. But rook endgame, not so great. Rook a8, I'll defend here. If you go d7, I'll go rook d8. Oops, not rook e8, rook d8. And if you take here, I'll take here. No, if I take here, it's a mate. So I have to play king f8. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe this is what Magnus does. Knight e4 looks very natural. But Magnus is burning his time here. He's down to 1 minute 33 seconds. 31 seconds for Hikaru Nakamura. Oh, another idea could be to just push your pawns on the king side. No, he goes rook f4. He wants... Wow, what a beautiful move. Because now if you go rook f8 and try to save here, then king e2 and the knight is trapped. Knight is trapped. So, you can't go there. And if you go rook c7, then you know, guys, what's the move. Can anyone tell me very quickly? What's the move here? Of course, rook b4, attacking here and here. Guys, I'm not going to wait because game is moving at breakneck speed, as Amruta would say. King e3, rook c3 check. Can we go king d4? No, we cannot go king d4. There's rook c4 check. Rook c3, I think king d2 is a must. You have to go back. King d2. Amok says, could this be a drawn endgame? Could be. Let's see. Guys, Hikaru Nakamura never gives up. Keeps fighting. But he's facing Magnus Carlsen. And Magnus is one of the best endgame players. So it's like, you know, there, Hikaru is sort of smiling, not so happy. He's trying to figure out if there's any way he can defend. Vivastan Damle, thank you so much for your membership gift. Rook c7 defends here. Very, very tricky because if you go now, the way he has actually pulled the king here, knight c4 is a check, so there's no back rank mate. Very tricky, very nice. Like it. That's why he's a top player. He understands these little... Oh, but still he goes rook b4, knight c4 check. Where do you go? King e2. Mate threatened, he goes back. Now this is hanging. Oh, why don't we take this pawn? But then he takes on e5. Should we defend f4? No, he takes on a4. Go knight e5. Hikaru Nakamura has kept material balance. Knight e5, rook e7, rook a7 attacking here, but knight to g4. Why? Oh, what happened? He resigned. Knight f7. Rook b8. What happened? Magnus is, guys, he played takes rook b8, f3, check. King d3, right? Or he won. King d3, check, king d4. And Hikaru checks. Oh, he is coming in with his king here. Oh, he went king e3, rook a2, knight g5. Game over. Because this is a mate. No, he didn't pre-move, guys. He didn't pre-move. I think there's a small lag on my end from the moves. I need to find which is that. And check here, king back, and that is a win. Wow. What a game. What a game. 8 no, that was not pre-move, guys. And guys, yeah, I'm trying to actually see if I can get the board where there is no lag. There must be a link, because on other broadcasts what they have done is they have also done a lag on the on the video feed. But on my on our broadcast the video feed is real time, but the moves are, I think, lagging by 30 seconds or 45 seconds or a minute, I think. So that's the reason why we are not able to see it real time. But what a game this was. Magnus Carlsen showing his class and now leading 1-0. And guys, remember, if Magnus reaches 2.5 points, the match is over. So Hikaru needs to strike back soon. It's a 4-game match and he needs to strike quickly. How did you find this game? And also I'm going to put up a poll. I think you guys, let me see how many of you think who's going to win today. Who is going to win today? Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru Nakamura? Put a poll. It's very rare, says V18, where I have seen Magnus opponent has made Magnus struggle. Well, yes, he made him struggle, but I mean, I think Magnus kept his cool. He didn't lose his advantage. Yes. The other board was fine. I'll see if I can use that one. So h4 prevails. Yeah, exactly. h4 was excellent. It was brilliant. And it was very good this entire game. Yeah. If Magnus loses today, will there be rematch? Yes. There will be. So if he loses the first match, then it will be best of 2, I think. Vigatha says, what was the blunder by Hikaru? A very good question, actually, because it was not so easy to figure out where Hikaru went wrong. But I think his main error was perhaps allowing h6 here. Stopping it with h6 might have been better. Because when he allowed this already started to get a bit, I don't know, it started very slightly going in the wrong direction. So I would say that even, I don't know, maybe bishop a4 was not the best move, I think. This move, perhaps. Well, there were many small errors here. I wouldn't call any of them as a blunder, but there were many small errors. Hikaru just very relaxed now, making sure he comes back. By the way, guys, I want to share with you something very interesting that we are building, and maybe if you guys want to just check it out, it is very cool, and maybe I can also show you in the break, but it's called chessranga.com, and please do check it out, and please do sign up. I have actually pinned that message, and I can show you a bit around it so that while the games are about to begin, it can be something nice to look at together. Let me see if I can pull it up. The next game should start in a bit, and it's something which is very exciting for us at ChessBase India, because it's one of our very first sort of websites that we are building from scratch and step by step trying to make it better. By the way, Magnus has come in here, so maybe I can show you afterwards, but you can sign up there, and I can assure you it will be worth your effort and your time. Can I lag the video as well? Can I do this? Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to try and see if that works out. Okay, the game has begun. Knight f3 by Hikaru, d5 by Magnus, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castles e5, d3, knight c6. When you are in doubt, where do you go? When you are in doubt, you go back to your friend whom you know since childhood, right? And the friend whom Hikaru knows since childhood is King's Indian Defense. That's his friend since childhood. He's been playing it for years and years. But you know how he used to play? He used to play it with the black pieces by putting his knight here, then his pawn here, then his bishop here, and then he would castle here. And then he would be very happy with this little home that he had created for his pieces. However, as it happens, he's playing with white in this game. So he tells to himself, I'm going to create that same setup with the white pieces. He makes the home first. Then he puts his pawn on d3. And then he breaks with c4 and he tells Magnus, what do you want to do now? Do you want to take on c4 and trade queens? What happened to Magnus Carlsen? Why is he so upset? No, he's fine. Oh, they trade queens. Queen takes queen, rook takes queen, e4. And now Hikaru is thinking to himself, why did Magnus Carlsen play this? Can I go knight d4? Oh, no, I can't do it because there is a bishop and a knight. Okay. Can I go knight d5? No, I can't do that as well. Can I go knight d2 to attack here? But hey, that looks passive, f5. But then what should I do? Where should I knight go? Knight e1 also looks passive. Hey, can we go knight g5? But again, f5. So maybe Hikaru with this move c4, has he sort of given up his opening edge? Because with white, he could have tried so many different setups, right? He could have played e4, he could have gone knight d2 and c4, he could have done different things, but c4, take, and e4. And he's thinking here. He hasn't played his move. Vigata says, is it King's Indian attack? Yes, you are right, Vigata. It is King's Indian attack. Magnus Carlsen laughing right now. Maybe tuned into Chess Base India commentary, perhaps. Just laughing. Why is he laughing so much? Not so sure. Well, it's sometimes quite interesting to see that chess, which is an activity that requires such mental application, is being played with such ease by the world champion. You know, sometimes I wonder how Magnus does it. I wonder how, I wonder why. By the way, e4 is hanging, so now of course f5. Anyone is too passive, says Infinity CS. I agree. f5, and now these pawns make a wall against the bishop. Now Hikaru is trying to play around it. He's like, oh, I'm going to b5. My knight is going to come here. But hey, Magnus can just stop the knight with a6. Looks good. Why not? Hey, but can you play bd7? And if he goes knight b5, go long castle. That is also possible, but then unfortunately he has bishop f4, and then suddenly you are in trouble. Okay, can't do that. So why don't we just stop the knight, you know? And also remember, guys, there's a small rule which you should always remember. If the pawn is 2 squares away from the knight, like here, it kind of dominates the knight, and it happens in many openings. In fact, if you think about it, the very famous Italian opening, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4, bishop c5, white goes c3, and you might not have thought about it. You would have always thought, oh, c3 is all about attacking the center, but it also limits the knight on c6. Remember, it's 2 pawns away from the knight, so you should always keep that in mind. a6 is the move here. Yes, Magnus Carlsen plays a6, good move. He's in his element today. You know, that day when Magnus won against Hikaru, but he was not happy with that match because it ended in 2-2. And then in the tiebreak, in the Armageddon, he drew the game as black and won it. He said that, you know, he had breakfast, which, because of which he felt heavy and he couldn't play his best chess. So Magnus today has come with this motto that I want to play my best chess. He goes bishop to e6. I was wondering if he would play bishop d7 and long castle, but he goes bishop e6. Okay. Can Hikaru Nakamura play b4 and try to create play here? Yeah, exactly. Sudeep Vyas, Pankaj Rathod, you are right, b4. But I think it's not a great idea. Actually, today Magnus is not even listening to anything. No music, nothing. Yet he is laughing. Or is he listening to something? Guys, do you have some inside info? F3 played. Magnus comes out knight f6. Magnus's smile says, everyone's interpreting Magnus's smiles in different ways. Something that because Hikaru fell into his preparation, something that he's just happy he's listening to something. I don't know. No one knows. No one knows. Okay, knight f6. Hikaru is still wondering what to do. He has 10 minutes, 40 seconds. Magnus has 11 minutes. The opening has gone in Magnus's favor. He has the center. He has all his pieces developed. He wants to go short castle. Maybe he doesn't even castle. He puts his king in the center on e7 or f7. Guys, think about it this way. Okay, Magnus Carlsen, if he was playing the world championship, he would have played against Jan Nepomniachtchi in April, right? And he would be preparing right now for that match along with his team of seconds and studying reams and reams of theory. Instead of that, he's in Canada. He's enjoying himself with the chess brass and his friends, and he is going, in different things. I also received a very nice update from my friend in Canada, Asim, who said Magnus actually visited his chess pub, where they have their chess club, and he was there and so on. So he's having a nice time. B3 played by Hikaru, and somewhere it's a change, but somewhere you also feel like you are getting relaxed, but you're not playing the world championship. And I think what is happening with Magnus is this is his cool off period. He's just cooling down, he's just enjoying life, he's talking more in interviews and stuff like that. But I feel he has a second wind left in his chess career. Maybe there will come a day when he will say, I'm hungry once again, I want to play the candidates, I want to qualify, and I want to fight for the highest title. How many of you think that is going to happen? Yes? You think so? Because having fun is great, but at the end of the day, Magnus is world champion material. You don't feel like giving up the title. Okay, Hikaru goes bishop b2. And what Hikaru might want to do is to take on f6, take on f6, take on e4, and then snatch the pawn there. That's his idea. And as black, you don't want to take here because after bishop f3, the bishop opens up. So while Hikaru has been playing a little passively, all his pieces on the last rank, he is sort of provoking Magnus. Oh, rook d8. Interesting move. Guys, don't you win a pawn here? Let's say I take, bishop takes, fe4. Isn't that winning a pawn? Well, it turns out that maybe it's not so important. You can go knight to b4, attacking the a2 pawn, and you can't take here because bishop f5 maybe. Oops, sorry, bishop f5, attacking the rook. e4. And somehow with this bishop here and the knight here, wow, what understanding, man. I would have been so worried about losing the pawn, but Magnus just doesn't care. He literally doesn't care. Hikaru goes knight a c2. Yeah, solution coaching, you're right. Black has bishop pair and he has compensation. That's true. Okay, knight a c2. Magnus is still thinking. Zohan, thank you for your super chat. COB incoming. Don't know. Dharmik says it depends on how stubborn Magnus is on that 2900. Harder it gets to reach there, larger are the chances of him returning to World Championship title. I think, Dharmik, if I'm not mistaken, Magnus has already sort of given up on that aim of reaching 2900. By the way, I don't like what Magnus has just done now. He has taken on f3, and I think now Hikaru can just take with his bishop. He can also take with the knight, threatening a check here. And suddenly Hikaru's pieces are coming back to life. Oh, today Adiban did lose to Srihari. True, true, true. Oh, he takes with the knight. You know, as someone who likes order on the chessboard, not in life and at home, like you can see my home and it's all in a mess, but on the board, I like all my pawns being together like this. Here, it's not a good idea. And here is a typical pawn sacrifice that you can make as black. Can anyone tell me what should black play? Let's go, guys. A very typical pawn sacrifice. You guys are so good. You guys are so good and so strong. Amazing. Fantastic, guys. Good job. And I think so many of you have actually found the answer to this move. And the right move is f4. Well done. Well done. Sherlock Ram, Mistadam, Itsarian, Rishikesh, Raz, Horsey Fish, Suyog, CD, Kirtika Chess, Perin Gala. Well done. Going back to the game. So f4, and it's a nice sacrifice because then the bishop remains closed and you can go knight h5, knight f4, trying to win that pawn. In fact, there was this similar concept in the game of Arjun Erigaisi and Magnus Carlsen, which we were watching. Can I recreate that? Can I show you that? Will I be a genius if I can show you that? Maybe, but I don't think I can. I don't remember it fully. Okay. Anyway, going back. Knight takes f3, h6. Okay, basically he's just stopped knight g5. Just like how a6 stopped knight to b5. The same way in which he couldn't do this. Now, what does Hikaru do? Maybe Hikaru Nakamura wants to do knight d4 business. Like here, and here, and here. He goes knight d4. Oh, he plays it. He plays it. Okay. I think after take, guys, I want you to tell me what would you play here as black. Very simple question. Just a simple question to all of you in the chat. What would you play here as black? I want to see how good you are at this. Sherlock Ram, you're very good. Chess D, you are very good. Ashish Anand, you are very good. Rishikesh Parab, Vikrant Pawar, SR Edits, Dharmik Thanki. It's not an easy move, but it's a very important move. Because this position is open, you want to keep both the bishops. So here, because this is attacked and also the e6 bishop, you can just drop it back. And such moves are very tough to make. But if you can make them, you know that it's a backward move to come forward very soon. Either you will play c6 to blunt this bishop, or you may even go c5 to kick this knight, or you may go knight g4, knight e5, knight e3 coming in. So in a way, bishop c8 is a very important move. So all those who said it, good job. Solution says, why not bd7? Solution coaching, if you play bd7, don't you think this b7 pawn would hang? Bishop c8 defends it. Milan Varu says, tomorrow is my internal exam, but I am not interested to study. And I'm watching the finals of Magnus and Hikaru. Very good. Amazing. Fantastic. Zohan says, Sagar Shah becoming a grandmaster is going to be the second win. Yeah, maybe. Second win of my career. Just like how, let's say, Magnus gets bored of having fun. If I get bored of commentating and working and so on, maybe I can think of. But I don't think I'll get bored, yeah? I'm not as brilliant as Magnus Carlsen to get bored of something, perhaps. Don't you think that in order to get bored, you need to be like very good at some... Oh, by the way, knight e5. Amruta doesn't agree with me sitting here. She's like, no. It's whatever you're saying is just stupid. No. Check, and he wants to take here. King e8. Okay, you can't take here because, I mean, you're piece down, so you must take back. But with what? Bishop takes or rook takes? Let's say you take with the bishop, which is the most natural way. And then when you take here, how do you stop? Oh, you sometimes you don't need to defend. Can you find what black should do here? Guys, black to move. Let's go. Think. What do you play here as black? Did it happen? Did it really happen? Wow, it happened. He took with the bishop. Magnus found knight g4, and the number of people who found knight g4 in the chat, hats off to you guys. Priyansh, Kritika, Dharmik, it's Siddharth, Hriday, Luke Fisher, Shivam Acharya, Vikrant Pawar, it's Aryan and Sherlock Ram. Well done, guys. Amazing. Let's go back to the game. So knight g4 is such a classy move because now you can't take here. If you take here, d4 is hanging. Rook takes d4. So you can't do that. Knight g4. Magnus sees so many things. Okay, now what do you do as white? Because you can't take here. You can't move the knight. You have to go back. Knight f3 is, you have to go back. Yeah, knight f3 looks good. Sumit says, Sagar bhai, please wish me luck. I'm leaving for my classical tournament which starts in next 2 hours. I hope I will perform reasonably well. Sumit, all the best to you. Don't think about performance. Think about making good moves. Just think about one thing. What is the next best move in the position? And I will play it. That's all you have to think, and you will do well. All the best. Oh, knight c6 played by Hikaru, attacking the rook. But of course, attacking the bishop here, you can't take it because then your g7 bishop is hanging. So he takes, knight takes, and now we already saw this concept. When this and this are attacked, what do? You go back on c8, h3 played. And I'm surprised. Can we not go knight e3 here? What is Hikaru Nakamura planning for knight e3? Maybe Hikaru is happy after knight e3 to play rook d3, because generally you don't want to give up your strong bishop. But here after king g2, he is fine with this position. Akash Verma says, brother, I'm new to chess and my elo is 600. How can I improve? Akash Verma, there are some very good playlists on Chessbase India. Maybe improving chess, the 100 episodes. If you watch them, that would be really cool. You will improve pretty quickly. Knight e3, rook d3, knight takes g2, king takes g2. Okay, he plays knight e3, rook d3, takes, and then he played c5. Interesting. Knight f3, rook takes d3, e takes d3, king e7, king f2, rook d8, attacking this pawn once again. Magnus Carlsen, guys, please fasten up your seat belts, okay? Fasten up your seat belts. You are going on a journey with Magnus Carlsen now into an endgame where Magnus has the bishop, Hikaru has the knight. Now, Hikaru is a very tricky defender, so he loves knights. But Magnus loves bishops because bishops are generally coordinating pretty well with a rook. And there are pawns on both sides of the board. So this is a very complex and interesting endgame. Okay, if you were Magnus Carlsen, what would you start with? My first intention is king f6, guys. Because I want to play king f6. I just want to keep everything together. But I want to learn from Magnus Carlsen how he approaches this position. Will he play b5? Will he play bishop e6? I'm very curious to know how the world champion thinks in this position. He has 2 minutes 46 seconds. Does he go g5? Anshul Singh says, as Magnus Carlsen has given up the world championship, it is very good chance for you to win it. Anshul Singh, I will give you the Optimist of the Year award. Thank you so much for believing in me. Oh, by the way, f4. Oh, I just spotted that move and Magnus played it. I didn't even think. Oh, if you take, maybe he wants to take on h3. What is happening? Insane tactics. Firstly, g4 is not so great because after g5, it's like you have fixed your pawns on light squares and also have a passer. But look at this move. If you take here, I go boom. Takes, boom, check, and I win. Wow. Not win. I mean, I win the rook. The resulting position is still very complicated. But I think optically, it just feels like white is better. Black is better. What a move by Magnus. I did not think, we were all thinking like, oh, positional chess, king f6, g5, b5 here, but Magnus goes for tactics. I don't know if it's the best or not, but it's a very interesting idea. And Hikaru is not so happy. He's trying to figure out what to do. Praveen says Hikaru will have one more chance with game 4 with white. He no, but if he loses this game right now, I think his chances are over. By the way, gf4 I think is kind of forced, and then you can't really take on h3 because rook h1. I don't like this. By the way, Zohan, thank you so much for upgrading your membership to supporter of Indian chess. It's also playable. Bishop takes d3. Oh, it's happened. gf4, rook takes d3, played by Magnus. Will Hikaru play king d3 and feel that this position is equal? Because, to tell you the truth, guys, I feel optically this is super dangerous for white. Like king b2, bishop f5, h3. I mean, oh, he didn't take. He didn't take. He played b4. He's like, look, I want to activate my rook this way. But now, I think Magnus will go rook a3. Or he will take on b4, rook takes b4 and rook a3. Oh, he goes rook a3 directly. B takes c5, rook a2, king e3. And now the bishop is slightly sort of tied up. Check, king f2. But now a pawn is a passer. What a complex endgame. What a complex endgame. You have a bishop that is tied up to the defense of the b7 pawn. You have an a passer which can run down the board. The knight can jump into the center and attack this here. We are playing for all three results, guys. Oh, is Magnus going to draw this? Rook a2. Oh, they're drawing. They're drawing. No, wait. Magnus doesn't want to draw perhaps. Or does he? Magnus is waiting. Hikaru is shaking his head. Will Magnus take the draw? Guys, what do you think? Or will Magnus go for the kill? I don't know. I don't know. No? Magnus won't draw? He's thinking here because he knows he has the draw in hand with rook a2 check. Oh, goes for the play. That's Magnus Carlsen for you. He wants to continue the game. He goes king f6. Very cool. Very cool. We have a game on hand now. Okay. Firstly, rook b6 check. Doesn't that look scary? Because if you go king f5, there is knight h4. No, he goes knight d4 first. No, 1 second. Is this like king f5, knight h4, king takes f4, knight g6 that way? So he first goes knight d4. Now he's threatening here because then you don't have king f5. And if you take on h3, then there is rook b6 check. Oh, he takes on h3, rook b6 check. Now you have to go back. You can't come up because you can't. The rules of chess don't allow you to come up. He goes king f7. Okay. And now I think it's important to play c6. He does it. And Hikaru has enough activity, I think, to hold the draw here, because now bishop b7 is met with rook c7, so you need to move the bishop away. Now the a6 pawn is falling, and that should end in a draw. Although Magnus is known for even putting pressure on his opponents, even in such equal positions. Magnus does play on rook c3. By the way, Hikaru is shaking his head because I think he's just spotted like now he can give checks and draw. Yeah, I think this time Magnus is not going to play on. He's going to accept the draw. And for Hikaru, I think it might be a prudent decision to draw the game because there's just no way he can continue. He's still thinking if there's any way in which he can continue playing, but not really. The game is ending in a draw, and Magnus Carlsen will lead the match 1.5 half. And the game has ended in a draw. Hikaru moves out from his room, and Magnus sits there just watching at the screen. I think Magnus likes to analyze his game, while Hikaru prefers to just move out. And I don't know, maybe he gets some bit of someone sitting there, maybe his second, and he gives him some ideas very quickly. Could be possible. Yeah, where is Hikaru staying is a question. Someone says, Ashish says Hikaru's door has an Indian look. Yeah, I agree with you. If Magnus wins his next game, guys, that is already over. The tournament is over. Magnus will become the champion of the tournament. So that's the thing. Will Magnus Carlsen be able to win it and finish it off, or do you think Hikaru will fight back? Last time, Arjun Erigaisi had fought back against Magnus Carlsen from being 1.5 half down, so it's not like Magnus is invincible, but um, Chintan just 2.5 points, right, to win. By the way, guys, in the break, you see the pinned message there. We have updated a few things in Chessranga. So I just want to show you, if you go to chessranga.com, that is our new training website, which is sort of building up each and every single day. You will find a lot of interesting stuff that is happening there. So please do check it out. That's me here. And you can sign in to it here, or there's a sign in with Google button. You can use it. That's a new feature we have added. So with your Gmail, you can sign in, or you can create this here and you can sign in directly. And then you can get in here, and this is the place where magic happens. And now, let's say, for example, which of the ones courses do you want to check? Anyone? The match will start in 2 minutes from now, 2 or 3 minutes. This is free, Morad Das. It is completely free. Okay, let's go to fresh from the oven. And let's go to the month of February. I have Alireza Firuza versus Arjun Erigaisi here. By the way, this is the beauty of this is this one. You can click on this video button here and it says start the lesson. Oh, I'm blocking myself. Wait, I need to move away. And here's the thing. When you go to moments like this, then it stops. So instead of watching this video on YouTube, you can watch it on Chess Ranga, and it stops at the moment and asks you, what should white play in this position? White to move. So I'm going to flip it for you guys. White to play. Horsey Fish says you're doing this for free, so damn brilliant. Well, we want to ensure that people can learn chess, and this all of these features which we have, how to play chess and all of this, totally free. So please do check it out. It'll be very useful. Oh, by the way, I had asked this once, and all those who are saying knight e5, let's make this move because that's the most natural move. So you make the move on the board, and it says this would be a mistake because the knight on d2 is hanging. Ooh, so you can't take. It gives you a very important feedback. You can't take here because this is hanging. So what do you do? It's Aryan, you are right. You can play the bishop to d5. Very powerful move, blocking the d file, and actually, and then I explain this move, and then you can move forward, and then I explain it, and then you can move. Arjun finds a very strong move here. Can you find it? By the way, while you're thinking, look at Hikaru Nakamura. He's also thinking about what his strategy should be. A good player always is thinking about what should he do better. By the way, h6 is a very good decision, guys. h6 is nice, but after h3 or f3, actually f3, white is fighting. So you can here play h6 and says this is logical but would be incorrect, as after f3 the bishop on g4 would not have great squares to go to. So Devin Tiwari, you are right. Queen c8 and high level of prophylaxis. Well done. With this move you are making a square for the bishop on g4. Idea is to play h3 or f3. So even if you play, let's say, h6, and so I explain it in the video, and he wants to kick away your bishop, and the bishop and by the way, this works perfectly on the mobile phone, so you can check it out. So what Arjun did is that he made space for his bishop by playing, and same way you can go to some very interesting chapters as well. There is opening traps, and you can do traps in, let's say, the English opening. Hello everyone, this is Sagar Shah and welcome to the trap of the day. We're going to focus on the English opening today, so let's begin. The first move is c4. Black responds with e5. White goes knight c3. Simple developing move. Knight c6. Knight to f3. And now black plays the move g6. Very logical to develop the bishop on g7. We go d4. And black takes. Now if you are a solid player as white, you can just take the pawn and be slightly better in this position. But if you are a trappy player, you can go for knight d5. Wow, what's this move? Well, the point is, if black goes bishop g7, defending the pawn, you can now play bishop to g5. This is where the trap sets in, and now black has to be very, very careful. So here's the question. What is the best defensive move for black here? Guys, let's go. What is the best defensive move? So it pops up, it's an interactive way of learning. It's very cool. Why can't I sign in with Google in Chessranga, says someone. I could. Isn't it working? You have to be signed into your Gmail or Google. If you are signed in, it'll work. So if you play F6, as many of you want to play, Vigata Karna says it will. I did it with Gmail. Okay, so it's working. Sarthak says, do you own Chessranga? Chessbase India is developing it. So yes. Guys, F6. While temporarily you are able to stave off the attack, this move blocks the G7 bishop and also creates weaknesses. So don't play it. Someone says it's working now. Okay, fantastic. Great to see. Okay, by the way, guys, game is about to begin, but the right move is knight e7, and once you make the right move, awesome move. The idea is to kick the knight with c6, then it continues, and you can learn so many things here with different possibilities. So please do check it out, and guys, let's get cracking. Magnus Carlsen opens the game with 1 e4. सागर भाई एक बार सैफ अली खान वाला वाव हो जाए. Wow. Okay, I don't know. Sherlock Ram says there's a national arbiter seminar in Pune on March 4 and 5. I want to join, but there's no application form available online. What should I do? Sherlock Ram, please write to us at chessbaseindia@gmail.com. We'll try to connect you with the right people. Sarthak Gupta, great to see people like you support chess in India and help it growing worldwide. Oh yes, I should tell you something amazing today happened. I'm going to tell you that while Hikaru play, Sicilian defense on the board. Amruta Mokal's favorite opening. Amruta, how are you feeling? It's Sicilian. Hikaru in a must-win game has gone for Sicilian. Actually, it's not must-win. He can still draw, but it's a very important game.
Amazing. Open Sicilian, I hope, or not Rosalind mode.
Yes. Let's hope that it's an open Sicilian. Knight to f3. Rosolimo coming says someone, d6. Now Magnus goes bishop b5. Or will Magnus go d4? Let's see. If he's in a peaceful mode, like if he's in a positional mode, he'll go bishop b5. If he's in an aggressive mode, he'll go d4. What do you think?
He'll play bishop b5.
Yeah, I think so. You remember when Vishy Anand was fighting in 2013 for the world title and Magnus Carlsen was leading, and this is what Vishy played. Magnus went bishop b5 and I think took the world title. So yeah, bishop b5 is what Magnus plays. Knight c6. Okay, interesting. Shall we take it? Because then it can get very sharp. He castles. Okay. Knight f6, I believe. Or bd7. bd7 is a good move. Yes, bd7. So as to prevent the doubling of pawns. Okay. Maybe c3 with the idea of d4. Maybe d4 directly is also possible. Can we go rook? Rook e1. Maybe he wants to drop his bishop back. If you go a6, maybe he goes back bishop f1. Let's see. Knight to f6. Okay. What do we do? c4. I like c4. Getting the Maroczy. If a6, bishop a4, bishop c2, and then d4. Is it any good, or am I just saying something silly? c3, d4 also possible. h3 to stop some bishop g4 ideas later could be possible. Many possibilities here. That's what makes this position interesting. c4, c3, d4, h3. Many. Knight c3, of course. Of course, knight c3. Magnus Carlsen sort of takes his time in the opening. You know, when world class players take time in the opening, there are a couple of reasons for it. He goes h3. Firstly, they are trying to recollect their move. Secondly, they are trying to think about what their opponent might know. And thirdly, they are also trying to sense what is it that they feel like playing on that particular day. It's very important. Sometimes you are in an aggressive mood and you want to play aggressive chess. Sometimes you are in a positional mood and you want to play calm chess. So yeah, there you see Hikaru, he's sort of having his eyes half closed, thinking about it, not sure, sort of trying to figure out what he should be doing. And I think part of it is because he's just trying to take all these factors into consideration before making his move. Because he can go g6. He was a6. Okay, now, of course, Magnus doesn't want to take here. Yeah, he goes bishop f1. That's why you played rook e1. It's such a... Look at this bishop, right? It started its life on f1. Okay, it's just a normal life for the bishop. And then later on, it was told to him that, you need to sort of learn in life, go out, learn some things. It went to learn. And then someone said, it's very important in life to unlearn things. Just came back. Maybe he starts a new life here. Maybe he's... Oh my god! Hikaru Nakamura plays g5, opens his bottle, drinks water, and he's telling Magnus Carlsen, I am going for your king. Come and take this pawn. Give me the open file. I'm more than happy. Then later on, I'll sack here. Okay, Magnus Carlsen should know this stuff because I think he's already played this with black. And take it from me, he's going to play d4. He is 100% going to play d4. If he doesn't play, I'm going to just, I don't know. What will I do, Amruta?
You'll go on a date with me.
I will go on a date with you. Amruta just looking for some trap there. Or, I will sing a song for you guys, whether you like it or not.
And not or.
The thing is that, look, knight g5, as we just said, rook g8 is something which Magnus doesn't want to get into, right? Maybe he wants to get into it. Yes, d4. I don't have to sing or do anything, guys, because that is the move. Okay, now he wants to take with the bishop, opening it up. Jai Pandit says, not sure if punishment for you or punishment for us. Jai, I'm a good singer. Oh, g4. Now, getting interesting and exciting. Has Magnus prepared this line? Because if he has, there's a strong move for white here. Guys, what would you play here as white? White to play. Let's go. What should white play? Arshab Agarwal. Hello, Arshab. Thank you for super chat. This is not easy because, see, if you take here, I'll take here and I'll pin you. So the move that we are looking for here is d5, not e5. E5 nahi, e5, maybe e5 actually. Why not? Interesting, guys. Interesting. Oh, but he's played d5. Magnus Carlsen knows his stuff. Man, Magnus is so good. He should play more chess. No, but seriously, I mean, he's so good. He just knows everything. And guys, some of us think Magnus is just a genius, which he is. There's no doubting that. But he also reads a lot. He also learns a lot. And I have a very good story of this because there was this tournament in 2019 in Scotland, in Lindores Abbey. And over there, Magnus was gifted a book at the opening ceremony. It was on Mikhail Tal. And by the time the tournament ended, gf3, by the way, he'll take on c6 because he has to take with the bishop. He cannot take on g2 because cd7 comes with a check. So he takes with the bishop, and now of course queen f3. And by the time the tournament ended, which was in 3 days, Magnus Carlsen had actually completed that book. And when asked as to why did you finish that book, he said it's very interesting. And he literally loves chess, he literally loves learning new things, and that's the reason why he knows a lot of things. You might sometime you might not have known that part of Magnus, because Magnus feels like this all-knowing person who sort of doesn't like working hard on chess, is a genius and stuff like that. That's the kind of impression one gets looking at him. But actually, within that, he has this ability to grasp things very quickly and grasp from un sort of unusual locations. And I feel that this is a big skill. No matter if you are in chess or in any field, if you are able to grasp things not from conventional sources, like conventional sources, books, going to lectures, going to seminars, this is conventional knowledge. But grasping from someone talking, or watching a game, or seeing someone's behavior and stuff like that, that is stuff of genius. And then learning it and applying it in your life, these are the things which are very tough, and which is what these great players do really well. And not just great players, but great entrepreneurs, great people in general are able to do that well. Okay, now knight d5 looks pretty strong, plonking the knight in the center. Or we can even go bishop d2, or we can go bishop f4. The main problem actually for Hikaru, this is a good opening that he's played in this sort of must-win game, because it is creating complications. At least there are complications on the board. Why is eval bar high? That's a good question, Praveer. I think knight d5 is a very powerful move, and what makes it very tough for black is the king still in the center and the bishop not developed. Let's say you imagine you put your bishop here, suddenly knight f4 hits the rook, and where does this rook go? Here, then there's knight e6 disco, and my bishop will take. So like rook g5, knight e6, and I'll take your rook. If you play rook h6, then all of a sudden I don't know, the rook looks misplaced. There could be some disco. Vivan Khare says, is Chess Ranga app on Play Store or a website? Vivan, it's a website. We haven't made it into an app yet. Hopefully someday in the future we will. Humpy winning today, Sagar Chess. Oh, brilliant. Jerome says, hi Sagar Amruta, will Chessbase be hosting a chess club tomorrow at Phoenix? Of course, Jerome. Every Saturday we have been at it since last 47 Saturdays, I think 46 Saturdays, and tomorrow is going to be no exception, so please be there. Oh, knight d5, Magnus Carlsen playing brilliant chess. Please do join us at Phoenix Market City in Mumbai for the Chessbase India Chess Club. We are going to finish 1 year soon, and whenever that 1 year comes, I believe it's on 4th of March, I think 4th or 11th, I have to check, but we will be having quite big celebrations. Okay, I really like how Magnus is doing this, right? Knight d5, and also this rook is sitting here in case you want to take. It just opens up the file right to the king, so can't play it. Yeah, solution coaching, you are right. Black seems totally cramped. Jerome, the time of the club is 5 to 7 p.m. If Hikaru wins this, will there be a rematch? No, if he wins this, we'll go into the fourth game, 1.5, 1.5. It's a best of 4. So that way, if Magnus wins this tournament over, Airthings Masters won by Magnus Carlsen. Oh, e5 played by Hikaru. Interesting. Okay. Let's think now. What do we do as white? Hikaru also sitting down in the chair now, the game getting into. Man, what a move by Magnus. You know, B4 was the best engine move. And I was thinking to myself, no, Magnus not going to find that. Because how can he find the best engine move there? But he found it. It's just brilliant. Okay, first things first, you can't take here because then I attack your bishop and I take here. But B4 is kind of opening up the position. But if you take here, I take with the pawn, you take here. I think what basically Magnus wants to do is just play bishop d3, hit the rook. If you go back here, rook b1, if you defend it, then already I open up more lines with a3. No, I think Magnus is in great form. The cb4, okay, knight b4 takes. And Hikaru is just facing a beast today. A beast on the board. But if Hikaru manages to somehow hold this game, then he can press with white. But already he's in huge difficulties, I feel. His king is still in the center. Magnus's knight is here. His bishop can develop at some point on b2. The rook can join in. He goes bd7. Okay. Do we go c4? That's possible. Aha, Humpy won today. Nice. So Humpy actually keeping her chances alive in the Grand Prix. Although Kostyanyuk playing some brilliant chess. What I understand here is if there's a flank attack, we should focus on center. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are completely right, because it's a very good example of why a flank attack should be directed with play in the center. So when black played g5, you go d4. Just playing in the center, and suddenly this move looks very artificial with d4. And so, of course, Hikaru was well prepared. He goes g4, but Magnus was also well prepared. And then in the resulting position, wow, did he also find c4? Crazy. And now Hikaru is wanting to take on h3 with, look, bishop h3, queen h3 and queen h3, because the g pawn is pinned. That's his idea. So Magnus can just move his king to the side, king h1. Yeah, Shubham Sharma is right. When Magnus is in form, it's like you're trying to win against an engine. King h2 played. Okay, Hikaru plays bishop h6. And now, very likely that Magnus goes knight d5. You know, very straightforward move. Because, see, knight d5 has the threat of coming to b6. And if you were to take, I take with my c pawn. Although e pawn is also good. C pawn, and then I want to open up like the C file. Is the subscriber count stuck? Yes, it was. Now it is at 1,123,232 subs. Nice. We are moving towards 1.3 million soon. Sorry, 1.2 million. Okay. 1.13 million. It's just step by step. Okay. Magnus goes rook b1. I thought he will go knight d5, but he goes rook b1. Horsey Fish says, was queen c8 not kind of unnecessary? I think so, Horsey Fish. I mean, queen c8 was not required, but then I think Hikaru no longer is able to make normal moves and get a normal position. Let's say if you go bishop e7, Magnus is just going to play bishop e3, rook d1, knight d5. It's a very easy position to play as black. So as white. So that's the reason why Hikaru is trying to create some tricks here with bishop h3 and stuff, which Magnus sort of negates. And now rook b1. King f8. Okay, now knight d5. Rahul Agarwal, Hikaru has to take risk as black. If he doesn't take, he'll lose the game. Or he'll draw the game, but he needs to win one game at least. So he has to take some risk. But that always sometimes pays off or sometimes does not. This time it doesn't seem like it's paying off. So one of the things is that after knight d5, I can take with the e pawn and then my bishop can sit here on d3. Rajat Chaudhary, nice move, bishop a3. Like your move. Bishop a3. But just a little worried about bishop f4 check. But maybe it's nothing to worry about, right? Mistadam says, wasn't ne4 possible when Magnus first played nd5? You mean here, Mistadam, knight e4. But then what if I play here, like takes? Do you want to play e6 or what's your idea? Oh my god, rook e6. Wow, Mistadam, you are so smart. You're so smart. What a suggestion. Wow, that is amazing. Hats off for that suggestion. Because now if rook e4, bishop d5. But I think the move that is very powerful here is actually c4. Just defending the knight, and now I'm threatening to take your knight. And if you go back, I'll take here and then take here with this pin. So you take here, go back. But then after bishop d3, I mean, white is just better. But great suggestion. Loved it. Oh, meanwhile, Magnus did go knight d5, takes bishop h6, rook h6, ed, and b5 by Hikaru. And what is Hikaru's idea? Like if I play cb, he wants to play ab, and then if I take here, he wants to take here, and then if I take here, he wants to take here, and it's kind of equal. What is Magnus eating is a good question. No idea. Guys, who is this Ingila? The t-shirt number 12. Is it an ice hockey player? Maybe some ice hockey player in Canada. Iginla. Does anyone know? Someone very famous, yeah, like what Magnus is to chess, Iginla is to ice hockey, perhaps. Rook c1 says Varun Jain. Like your move, Varun. Maybe Varun, instead of this rook, maybe we can put this rook so that this rook keeps control on the b file. This rook comes and attacks the c file. If you count the number of pawns, it's currently equal, the number of pawns. the king is slightly exposed, and I feel like the black king is more oh, he took here and he took here, and I believe that this game will now end in a draw for this very simple reason that after rook a2 black has enough activity to hold balance. I mean, on first sight I did feel white is better because white's rooks are very active and the king is safer, but I think black's king will go here to g7 and then rook comes to g6, and it's also not so bad. Razuk says Jerome Iginla is a retired Canadian professional ice hockey player who played as a right winger. He's considered one of the greatest players of his generation. Wow. It's a nice thing, right? When one of the greatest players of chess is playing with the jersey of one of the greatest ice hockey players in the backdrop. Okay, now you wanted to play rook b8 and pin the queen, but he goes king g7. Why not rook b7? Let's go rook b7. Rahul Agarwal says, what is the grand final reset? If Hikaru wins this, then there is a grand final reset. Manish Dhawan says, I saw one video where drunk chess bra throws a computer after a blunder. It was just hilarious. I feel like chess bras were there right from the start of chess streaming. I think they were the first chess streamers out there. And when they were doing initially chess streaming and all, not many people could understand why they were doing it. It was before the boom and so on. And they've managed to actually create something quite special. Now we have so many streamers, but they did it when streaming was not considered mainstream. I think Yasser Sairawan is also part of Chessbra. Yeah. I haven't met Yasser Sairawan ever, but when I'll go to WR Masters in Germany later this month, if my visa goes through, then I'll get a chance to meet him for the first time ever in my life. And I'm very, very excited for it, because when I was growing up, there were these videos on St. Louis Chess Channel. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where Yasser Sairawan, by the way, he attacks f7, shows some of his amazing games. One of them is against Anatoly Karpov. By the way, queen g6, very important, only move. Because if you had gone rook f6 here, then a very powerful move here is, guys, can you tell me, white to play? He shows so many games, and there's this one beautiful game between Yasser Sairawan and Anatoly Karpov. You must see it. You must see. He explains it so well. He explains it so well. Yes, and the right move here is rook g8 check, king takes, and then queen f6, and there's just no way to stop all these mates. So the right move of rook g8 by Mistadam, it's Aryan, Kritika, Pratham, Rishikesh, Rajat, Vedant, Prem, and Safal Fazil. Well done. Let's go back to the game. Hikaru goes queen g6, and look at how Magnus is trying to hound the queen. He wants to go to g4 and just trap. That's the reason why it feels like it's not so easy to play as black in this position. Aditya Diwan says, I've learned perk defense from Yasser lessons on the club channel. Yeah, he's very good at perk. In fact, modern, I would say, right? e4, g6, bishop g7, and so on. Ankit says he showed one game of Rashid as well. Yeah. Magnus has 1 minute 38 seconds. Hikaru has 3 minutes 10 seconds. How do you defend against rook g4? Maybe you go rook h5. And when you go rook g4, you have rook g5. I think that seems like the defensive idea. because queen h5, rook g4. You have rook g6. Maybe that's also. Yeah, he plays queen h5. Good move, Hikaru. Because rook g4, he wants to go rook g6. Braille Gibra, I also thought f5, but somehow f5 just opens up the 7th rank. So after rook b7, I think it's almost resigns position. King f8, king f6, I have rook f8. Bhavya Jain, $2 million is the prize fund for the entire tour, not for this event. I think if you win this event, you get $200,000, which is pretty amazing sum. It's like around 1.6 crores. But if you win the entire event, then entire tour, then you get 2 million. By the way, after queen trade, I think Magnus has sort of agreed that this position will end in a draw. Maybe just f4, f4, gf, rook f4. He gave first a check, king here, rook b6. All those who are asking what is Chess Bra, Chess Bras is a YouTube channel, and recently I interviewed one of them in World Rapid and Blitz, that is Eric Hansen. The other Chess Bra is Aman Hambleton, and in fact Aman Hambleton was interviewed on ChessBase India during Sunway Sieges by Avatanshu Bhatt. Avatanshu was just 12 years old or 13 years old when he interviewed him, and at that point Aman Hambleton was trying to achieve his GM title. I think he achieved it in that tournament, and he had made a decision that he won't shave his beard till he does not achieve his GM title, and it was growing like really long, and then he finally achieved it. So that's a very nice interview. Pranay says his name is pronounced as Aman. Okay, it's not Aman Hambleton, it's Aman Hambleton. Got it. Okay, d6 played. Hey, is the rook slightly misplaced here? No, he can always go rook g5 and trade off, because if you move the rook away, then g2 is hanging. Existential Hero says, lot of money in chess these days. Well, I think a huge credit for that goes to chess.com. I think they're doing some great work for chess, bringing in a lot of funds. Oh, Hikaru smiles there, but why? Is he winning? Is Hikaru Nakamura winning? What happened? What happened? Why is he shaking his head? Oh, because maybe there was a mouse slip or what? Because now he's totally winning this. Rook d4. Oh, Magnus misses rook d4. Magnus shaking his head. Hikaru Nakamura winning this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable turn of events. You know, everything was going normally. I thought the game would end in a draw, but suddenly Hikaru winning. And Magnus there is stunned, I feel. And Hikaru's expression at some point showed he was not happy. I don't understand Hikaru's expressions, but he's winning now. All he has to do is start somehow to figure out how to push the pawns in the center. He's extra pawn up. You know, the thing which happened was actually Magnus missed rook d4, I think, that move. Because here, at this point, at this moment, is when Magnus blundered rook a8. Because here, I think he thought he's going to win this pawn, but he missed this. because this pawn endgame is lost after take, king takes, king f4, king g3. And that's the reason why after this, he's now completely losing. And this is the live position now. What a shift from a completely better opening for Magnus Carlsen, and Hikaru surviving. He's managed to convert it. And guys, this just shows that chess is so tough. Even the best in the business struggle to convert better positions. And in fact, this is a 180-degree switch now with Magnus from a better position into a lost one. Let's see if Hikaru manages to convert this smoothly, because there are some technical difficulties still to overcome. Oh, what? He blundered, it seems. Rook e4, king f3. Because the way in which he to win was rook b2 was maybe a nice move. But he goes here, king f3, and now I don't know what. Maybe why is this? It's difficult to understand. Rook h6 may be very important. Oh, Magnus finds rook h6. Amazing. And now king. Oh, king e3 blundered. Rook c2 was coming. Rook a6. Rook e6. We'll analyze this. Check. King d2. King f2. King d2. Rook c5. Has to go back. Otherwise, you lose this pawn. King e3. Somehow rook c2 is winning. I think rook c2, king f3, e4. Just missing it, yeah? He's just missing that way to win. Rook a3, king e2, king f2, both are okay. E4, rook check, king f1. Oh. E3. And guys, somehow magically it seems Magnus Carlsen. Oh, go king g1, because yeah, king g1, f4. He has managed to somehow magically hold this, but not so sure yet. Wait, that, oh, he blunders now. He blunders. I think the only way to hold this was some rook e5 or rook e7, but he goes here. King f7. Hikaru is still winning this. And guys, these rook endgames too difficult to understand with little time, even for the best players in the business. How should Hikaru win? Can he go rook d? Yeah, rook a2. His threat is to give a check and pawn push. Rook b1 is just too passive. The king is coming in. King e5. Check. He goes rook b8. Check, king g1. Will Hikaru manage to win this? Of course, I think he's winning. But what a fight back by Hikaru. What a fighter he is. He did not give up. I will be utterly surprised if Hikaru doesn't win this. f3, good move. Good move. Trying to sort of clear things up, and now h3 is hanging. You have to defend it with king g2, rook g3. He went rook f2. Now, can we go to f4 to g3 and then try to win this? I'm not sure if I'll come to Phoenix Mall tomorrow, but yeah, I'll try. Thanks for asking. Rook f7. King f4. King e4. What? Draw? Draw? King c3. And Magnus Carlsen has managed to hold it. He had to play king d1. He went here, check king f1. Insane. How many twists do we have to witness? Rook a4, rook takes, king d3, check, king here, king f3 is coming in. Oh, rook a8, what a nice move. Rook h3. But how is this a draw with two extra pawns? It seems like it's winning. Rook e8 check. Okay, king d3. Rook d8 check. King f4, rook f8 forced. Yeah. King g5, rook g8. Keeps checking. King f5, rook f8 maybe. Check, check. Check. King here. And now king e2. Okay, this is just a draw. Check. Check. Amazing. How should black play? King f6. And guys, Magnus Carlsen has somehow survived this. And I believe that now it's not possible for Hikaru to win. And Hikaru shaking his head. He was so close to winning that game. And then eventually he has blundered big time. And Magnus check, king f7, check. Guys, Yugi Jadhav has asked me so many times, can we send super chat? Yugi Jadhav, please don't ask. You can of course send. There's just no way to make progress. Hikaru Nakamura can't believe that he has botched up such a winning position. He had the chance of his sort of not life, but at least of today's match. A big chance, a big opportunity, which he missed. And then Magnus has managed to hold on. And guys, the rook does not have space here. It's sort of taking care of the two pawns. If it moves, one of the pawn falls. So it's a draw. Magnus laughs. What a change of emotions. He's shaking his head and he's just like, let it go. Hikaru also is like, what am I doing? And he just slams the door, goes out. Whoa, what a match we had. The score is now 2-1 and we still haven't ended the match. Magnus still needs half a point. Hikaru is going to come at him with everything he's got, because that would mean whether he has the chance or not will be determined on that. But let's just analyze this endgame a bit and try to see where exactly could Magnus have improved, or Hikaru could have won. So here it was already getting a bit risky, but here he fixed the pawn, king e3, rook d4, and when he played this, I think he just missed rook d4. Very important move, because now white cannot take and play this, because black is winning all the pawns. So once you can't win this, you have to move the rook. Now your piece, you are a pawn down with two passers. And the reason why this position was totally winning here is that at this point, instead of rook e3, he should have gone rook b2. And the point is that now if you take here, I'm going to take on g2 with two connected passers, which is winning. So you go king f3, then comes e4, king f4, check, king here, e3, and it's already winning for black. So check on, I think Hikaru just didn't hit upon the plan of getting the rook to the seventh heaven. And then whenever he had chance of playing check here, yeah, this was a blunder. He had to stay here, king f6, rook e8, and then when he goes here, he can go king f1, it's a draw. But he goes like rook a6, and once again now he is better. And I think here is where he made a big error. When he played king d3 was okay, perhaps rook d7 and then blocking it this way could be a nice idea. And king c3 was the final error. And then it's just a draw. Okay, the last game is about to begin, the fourth game of the match. Score is 2-1 in the favor of Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, of course, you should never give up. And now the final game of today, I think, not the final game. Let's see. Has the game started yet? Maybe not. Atanu Sagar, I will check. By the way, guys, I wanted to Attanu Sarkar says, excited to share my latest project. Wrote an automation that pulls tweets from Twitter API, performs data analysis. Check out some user specific word clouds generated below. Let me know if you want me to try out something specific. Code to be released as usable module soon. Check out these word clouds using all tweets related to Chessbase India. Pulled out the most words related from CBI user comments, parsing around 10,000 tweets. Tried with Sagar Chess 1 too, but this was more exciting. Wow. Very cool. I'm going to retweet it so that people can check it out. And Atanu Sarkar, congratulations and all the best on your project. By the way, game has started. Hikaru Nakamura plays knight f3, d5, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castles, e5, d3, knight c6, e4 this time by Hikaru. Doesn't go for c4 that he played last time. And now takes. Magnus feels very comfortable in end games, but is that very comfortable, or is Hikaru having a small edge here? Because if he has a small edge, then if he wins this, then we go into the tiebreaker, Armageddon. It's a tall ask, firstly to beat Magnus and then to also beat him in Armageddon. It's not easy, but if there's someone who can do it, it's Hikaru Nakamura. Bishop e3. What do you do here as black now? You want to come here, then that just loses a pawn. Is there some disco? I don't see it. Okay, can we go rook d8 just to trade off one pair of rooks? Could be. Not such an easy position for Magnus to play. Hamza Sayed, it's 5 to 7 tomorrow at Phoenix Market City. All those who are in Mumbai, please do come to the chess club. No, Akhilesh AV, if Hikaru beats Magnus, then they reach 2-2. Then there's a tiebreak Armageddon where white gets 15 minutes, black gets the time that is bid the lowest. And then whoever wins there will decide the way forward. If Magnus wins, he becomes the champion. If Hikaru wins, then we have a best of two again. That's how it is. Straw Hats Akshat, short castle, I don't find it a very good move because in just queenless positions you have to be careful when you put your king on the side. It's you want to keep your king in the center. Let's say if I had a choice between castling or putting my king on e7, I would prefer this. But the problem is that here there are some knight d5 check ideas and it's not so simple. Like let's say h3, bishop f3, bishop f3. Later knight d5 check. It seems like white is slightly better. You can see Magnus taking his time because it's not an easy position. I think most likely he'll go a6 or he'll go h6 also, because then h6 I'm not so sure. Let's say h6, h3, bishop e6. Yeah, that could be the idea. Knight d5, long castle. Okay, so h6 definitely, because if a6, h3, now you can't go bishop e6 because of knight g5. That's the problem. Or yeah, knight g5. I think Magnus is going to go h6. Saran Srinivasan says, who are all the participants of WR Masters? Oh, he goes a6. I thought he'll go h6, but he goes a6. Okay. The by the way, h3. Hikaru must play h3, and he will play. And then he has a nagging edge, guys, because look, if you take, I have the bishop pair, and if you go back, I have knight g5. If you go to d7, which looks logical, I think, yeah, Magnus wants to go bishop d7. I think rook d2, long castle, rook d1. Oh, Magnus took. Magnus didn't even go back here. He just took and played h5. Wow. This is just the kind of position you want in a must-win game. Small edge, just keep pushing. What if best of two will be a draw? Then again, Armageddon. Yes, board bachelor. Yeah, that would be the final one. Satyam Sharma, the bishop on f3 currently is of no use because here. But then you change your career path and go here, and then it's very nice. Yeah, the participants of WR Masters are Nepo, Aronian, Anish, Ruda, and one more experienced player is and then the youngsters are Nodirbek, Gukesh, Prag, Vincent, and Esipenko. So there's one more experienced player. I don't know. Wesley So. Yes, Dharmic, correct. Wesley So is playing. It's going to be crazy strong tournament. And also there's going to be a juniors event there where Ilam Parthi is playing. So that will be fun to follow. And overall a great event. I'm going there, then I'll go to Hamburg. I'll actually show you the Chessbase office as well. I'm going to meet them there. Some interesting stuff we'll do. We'll do. It starts on 16th of Feb, and we will on our channel. We'll have commentary by Yasser Sairawan and Elizabeth Pates and also Anastasia Karlovich, and it'll be fun. Sminil Mahajan says, where is Samay? Sminil, Samay is very much in Mumbai, and he is just killing it with his stand-up comedy career, doing phenomenally well. You might have seen his Instagram stories. He's just having full houses. Also, Biswa Kalyan Rath has gotten so busy with stand-up comedy. Vaibhav Sethia became a father recently. Anirban Das Gupta has some very nice stand-up on his daughter recently that he put up. So all the stand-up comedians, of course, not playing chess as much as before, but they were all well-known personalities and they are just doing amazingly well in their field. By the way, pulling the bishop back to g2 would have been correct, but he goes bishop g5. Clearly, I feel he's missed Magnus's move, which Magnus is not going to miss. He's going to play knight d4, and then Hikaru is going to kind of shake his head because, look, after knight d4, I hit your bishop, I hit c2 pawn. And I think what Hikaru has missed is, I don't know, maybe some knight d5. If firstly f3 is hanging, so also in positions like this knight d5, you can always go bishop d8 and defend this. Vignesh Subramanian says, any classical super tournaments in India this year? Vignesh, if we all can organize it, then yes. I think otherwise, there's nothing on the cards as yet, especially in classical chess. There's always the Rapid and Blitz, Tata Steel Chess India. But if something can be organized this year, this is something I hope we, at least Chess Base India, can manage this year to start a classical super tournament in India. You know, it's high time. There's a huge need. Our players don't have tournaments to play. I've been talking about it. Like, for example, Vidit doesn't have a classical tournament to play until June. Nihal is also not having any classical events that he's played. Arjun's next classical event is in May. So, you know, there are less opportunities for our top players. And they're all close to 2700. So, knight d4 hitting here and here. Modi ji says Rapid and Blitz gets more attention. That's true. But then when we talk about who's world number one and who's going to play the candidates and world championship match and all of that, we still rely on classical chess. So that's where the thing is, right? Exactly, Vignesh, you're right. We have 6 to 7 very strong players close to 2700 in India, and that makes organizing a classical super tournament, I wouldn't say easier, but at least very much probable, because you know, you don't have to invite 9. Let's say if you had to do it, say 10 years ago, maybe you had Vishy Anand, Shashi Kiran, and Hari Krishna, perhaps. These are the 3 players about 2700. And then you had to invite 7 more players outside India to play. But now you have maybe 6, 7 in India itself, and you have to invite 3, 4 players outside India. So should be doable. Also, very much possible to do a top 10 Indian players tournament. You know, why not? Like the US Championship, which includes all the top 10 players of the world. Why not do that in India with a good prize fund? And that would be interesting to follow. I mean, imagine a tournament where we have Vishy Anand, Vidit, Hari, Prag, Arjun, Gukesh, Nihal, Raunak, and SL Narayanan, and Arvind, and Karthik and Murli, like the top 10 players. And that would be an awesome tournament to follow. Yeah, we need FIDE clearance. I mean, FIDE would be, I think, happy to have a super tournament in India. Why not? And by the way, FIDE is going to organize a Grand Prix in India soon. By the way, what a beautiful move, Bishop h6. See, the bishop is like, does not have future here. It's like it's sitting here. What should I do? It's like I've done printing engineering. There is lockdown. But hey, there's chess. And then your life is beautiful again. Stake here. And Hikaru does not like it because I think Hikaru just misplayed it starting from bishop g5. Here he is better. He has to play it like carefully first. Maybe start off with bishop g2, put your bishop back, start slowly. Maybe you have knight d5 coming up next, then push the pawn to c3. But he went first bishop g5, mistake, allowing knight d4. Then he c6 was the square from the knight was taken up. Then he played rook c1. The knight went back, and now you can already see Hikaru is kind of disinterested, because to beat Magnus in such an equalish position is almost close to impossible. Although I would say even getting a winning position in last game looked impossible. So Hikaru is not someone who's going to give it up easily. But if you asked me the probability of Magnus winning the title after this game, I would put it as high as 90% right now. King e7. Should we take here? Or should we keep this? Because this bishop may not be so good. But we can also take. Take. King takes. Oh, nice move. I love it. h4. Guys, look at this. Okay. h4. Idea is to take and then take this pawn on h3. Right? So you go g4, which is very natural. But now which square is weakened? What is the square that got weakened? What is the square that got weakened? Palani, Sahil, Kirtika Chess, very good. It's Aryan, Humble Dumbledore, Siddharth Ranavdev. Knight f8, knight e6, f4. f4 square got weakened totally. And now he will just... I think Magnus can go knight c5, knight e6, knight f4. And then this is a weakness now. Magnus Carlsen. It's Aryan says, I live in Lucknow right now. Gautam Adani, Mukesh Ambani, and many other businessmen and Modi are in Lucknow right now investing in UP's development. Whole city is decorated. Very nice. It's Aryan. If you can talk to them, you can ask them, can you guys spare a couple of crores only to organize a super tournament in India? That would be very nice. Oh, Caruana won Division 2. King Pawn. Thank you so much for that. Magnus is thinking, should I go rook d8 and trade off one pair of rooks, or should I go knight e6 straight? I think rook d8 looks nice to me. Then knight c4, hitting the pawn. Let's say I go f6, then take, and all of a sudden, yeah, this is not good. Let's not do that. I think let's go knight e6, knight c4, f6, defending this pawn. g5 impossible because knight takes g5. Yeah, this looks good. Knight b6, rook d8, rook takes d8, king takes d8, rook d1 check, king c7. There's no rook d7 because this is hanging. If you had pawn a4, a5, maybe it was good, but your pawn is on a2. So you have to move your knight. Maybe you go here, and Magnus is happy to make a draw. Something like that. Shantanu says, Sagar bhai, should I watch Improve Chess with Comedians 104 videos or Improve Chess with Sagar Shah 21 videos? I think if you want to start with basics, like if you are around below 1000, then you should start with Comedians. If you are above 1000, then maybe Improve Chess with Sagar Shah 21 days would be better. What will you call the super tourney if you manage to organize it? Yash Yadav says. Interesting. Haven't thought of a name. Maybe you guys can suggest some names. Magnus does play knight e6, good move. And once the knight comes here, it attacks h3. Knight c4, f6, good move. Now knight b6, he has to. Indian super challenge, oh nice. Festival. Is COB coming? Maybe. Chess based classical. Okay, that's interesting. I think something should be like long term. Oh, knight a5 played. Hitting here. He goes rook d2, and now this becomes a tricky situation because yeah, Magnus does it very well. He goes rook back because if he went knight f4, yes, he would win this pawn, but then after rook c d1, you are letting the rook come in, and you don't want to do that. So he goes rook d8, and now after rook here, he plays rook h d8. So careful, very careful. CBI Super Cup. Vishy Anand Invitational. Yeah, that's also interesting. Halo Chess India is something that Niklesh is doing. Indian Super Cup. Nice. Takes. Of course, you don't want to take with the rook. Actually, you can take with the rook as well. Because knight b7 means this is hanging, and if you take with the rook, knight takes would come. But he takes with the knight. g5, good move by Hikaru. Creating some play fg, knight c4, knight f7. And Magnus is defending it. He's pawn up. Ghatkopar Cup. Ghatkopar Cup is nice. Oh, Ghatkopar is becoming famous, yeah, these days. I saw in this some online series that they mentioned about Ghatkopar. So, liking it. Wazir Cup. Actually, this is very interesting that sometimes when I want to name something, I can come here and I can ask you guys, and then you have so many suggestions that. But then there are some very funny and quite difficult suggestions to read. Chess Bhangra. Bharat Shatranj Classical. Oh, nice. Rook c8. Okay, Magnus wants to play c5. Magnus is telling Hikaru that, look, the match is over. Hikaru, why don't we agree to a draw? I'm happy to give you half a point. I'm happy to take the tournament home. It's all fair, and let's call it a night. But Hikaru is like, Hikaru's expression says he's not interested, but deep within he wants to still find a way. Shahan Shah Cup. Nice. Shahan Shah Cup. Okay, look, c8. How about, look, you want to play c5, right? And I want to play b5 when you play c5. So I'll go a4. Then if you play c5, oh, what did he do? King e2, b5, knight here, a5. No chance, guys, for Hikaru here. Take rook 8. Or is Magnus going to go knight d6, stopping c4, attacking e4? No, rook 8, knight c2. Knight c2. He had to play, I think, c4 or a4. Maybe a4 better, because if you take, I have knight c4 defending my a5 pawn. Otherwise I'll just exchange and I'll be closer to a draw. But he went knight c2, rook a5, knight b4, king e6. Ooh, nice one by Magnus there. Knight c6, rook a2 is hanging. And this is now almost close to lost for Hikaru. King f3. Guys, look at this move. Oh, Magnus finds it. Beautiful move. King takes, rook f2. If h takes, knight g5. And Hikaru's expressions this time now show that he's not going to win this. He can actually offer a draw and Magnus would take it, but I think he wouldn't do that. Oh, he plays hg, knight g5 now. Rook c2 is so good, so accurate, so accurate. If rook d3, then I think you have knight g5. Grey Ninja says boring end. Grey Ninja, I thought there was some excitement, yeah, when Hikaru was winning the previous game. Pretty good finals, I think. Very high quality chess shown by Magnus overall. Knight g5. Oh no, rook d3 offers a draw. Magnus Carlsen accepts it with a smile because he's won the first event of the Airthings Masters 2023, and with a smile on his face. Nothing outrageous celebrations. Hikaru just puts back his headphones, earplugs, and he's like ready to give an interview or so. He fought well. He fought really well. He beat Wesley So twice, I think. And he's also played really nice matches against Magnus, beat all the strong players in the event, so apart from Magnus, and he deserves the second place. Shaurya Damatya says winning is his habit. That is true. Magnus Carlsen is just sort of amazing player. Give him any format, he wins. But what a start to the Champions Chess Tour 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed commentating on it. It was quite a long event, but it was cool. And I would request all of you to like the stream, do subscribe to ChessBase India, and I will see you guys very soon with the next event, WR Masters. Until then, please do enjoy everything that is up on ChessBase India. We have Aditya Roy, who is at National Team Championship, who will bring you live coverage from there. Players like Adiban, Surya Ganguly, Divya, Saumya, Vantika, everyone playing there. Many strong players, Arvind, Karthikeyan. So that's a tournament to watch out for. Then very soon I'll be traveling to Germany. We'll have National Rapid and Blitz. We will be organizing some good events. We'll be covering Champions Chess Tour. This year is going to be very exciting. And amidst all of that, we are also going to work very hard on building up this thing here, which is Chessranga, which is an online platform by ChessBase India to improve your chess. The link of it is in the pinned comment. Please do go for it and please do check it out. I think it will be useful for you. So sign up, it's free. A lot of amazing content there. And also this tournament, entire thing was sponsored by chess.com. So a big shout out to them for organizing such a wonderful event first. And there's also a link in the description where you can check out their website and also their memberships and so on. Thank you all for supporting chess, and see you all later. Bye bye.